Hello, my name is Rita Marie John, and I'm a PNP at the Springfield Pediatric Group and the PNP Program Director at Columbia University in New York City. In 1982, before Dr. Sears' book on delaying immunizations, I had an initial visit with a mother and her 2-month-old. The mother expressed her disbelief in immunizations. Over the next several months, I seized every opportunity to educate her about immunizing her daughter. I took the time to address her concerns to overcome her vaccine hesitancy. By the time her 6th child was born, she looked at me, exasperated as I mentioned vaccines that her child would need. She paused as I said, "What do you want to do today?" "Give it all," she said. "You've worn me down." The second video of this webcast will review what NPs can do to promote immunizations within their practice. The media has not always been a friend to healthcare providers. Whether it's print or online media, concerns regarding vaccines persist. The 2020 series on hepatitis B vaccines, done in 1999, is still available for viewing on YouTube. The National Vaccine Information Center, a private organization against vaccines, has a convincing website with links to television clips and media information that negatively portrays vaccines to parents. As NPs, we need to be aware of its powerful effect on parents. In a recent review, Hussein and researchers looked at 1,147 articles about immunizations from 1995 to 2005. They found almost half of the articles pointed out safety concerns of vaccines. Where does this leave us? Parents who have doubts about vaccines have different reasons for their concerns. Gust and researchers interviewed 3,924 parents from the years 2003 to 2004 and found 28% of parents experienced doubts about vaccines. So, we're still in the position of having to discuss vaccine safety with parents. An effective way to try to combat the problem is to establish an open dialogue. Werther's 2011 article talks about her refusal to vaccinate her 3rd child after being advised by a mother in the waiting room to think twice about vaccines. Her child developed Haemophilus influenza meningitis. She feels providers need to provide parents with current and accurate information, give an opportunity to ask questions, and hold open forums. There are 3 main false beliefs about vaccines. Vaccines cause autism. Thimerosal, containing 49% ethyl mercury, leads to toxicity and an increased number of children with autism. Multiple vaccines overwhelm the immune system and trigger a neurological response. Exploring the reasons why parents are vaccine hesitant can be the first step in developing a dialogue. Kennedy and colleagues showed that the most important resource about vaccines was the child's doctor or nurse. It is important to recognize that families have concerns. Families like seeing you comfort the child after giving them vaccines. Understanding parents' concerns that vaccines may not be safe, may overload their immune system, or that natural disease is healthier needs to be explored at every visit. As you talk with families, you will find there are 5 distinct groups of vaccine-hesitant parents. Uninformed but educable parents seeking information to counter an anti-vaccine message, misinformed but correctable parents also responding well to education. A 3rd group is well-read and open-minded. They want to explore the pro-vaccine and vaccine-hesitant message. This group may want an open dialogue with good, solid information since they are reading the negative media message. The 4th group is convinced and contented. They are strongly vaccine hesitant, but want to demonstrate their willingness to listen to the other side of the argument. This group of parents can also be educated, but it may take longer. The initial case I discussed fell into this category. Establishing rapport and allowing families to have an open discussion with you can be the most helpful. The 5th group is committed and missionary. They want to convince their provider to agree with them about being hesitant about vaccines. I have met these parents in the classroom when lecturing on immunizations and in practice. I would stress not to be defensive, listening to their feelings about vaccines and sharing your resources with them. I think this group is very interesting as they want to have an open discussion with you and win you over to their side. I would encourage you to continue the discussion at each and every visit without getting upset or frustrated. Today, new billing codes take into account the length of time that vaccine counseling can take. The CDC website has a section for provider resources to communicate with vaccine-hesitant parents. I like to have an open discussion with a very clear question and answer period. I also use the vaccine information sheets as a means of educating parents. The internet is a great resource for pictures of uncommon diseases. People need to be educated about adverse events that may happen, even though they're rare. I had a 4-year-old who I gave a DTaP, an IPV, an MMR, and a Verivax. I educated the mother regarding the rare risk of convulsions. She said to me, "No one ever told me this before," but she left contented. About 2 hours later, she called from the ambulance after her daughter had had a convulsion. She wanted to thank me for letting her know about this side effect. Communication about adverse events allow exploration of parental fears. By knowing this child had had an adverse reaction, I was able to report the event on the VAERS system and schedule a follow-up discussion. Websites are one way in which the vaccine hesitant are promulgating their messages. It is important to explore with parents the sources of their information and provide suggestions where to find reliable information. A link to a list of reliable immunization information websites is provided within this webcast and available for download. The American Academy of Pediatrics has developed a form titled Documenting Parental Refusal to Have Their Children Vaccinated. This form is an excellent resource for PNPs to use in an office. The form allows the provider to document what vaccines were offered and what was declined. It reviews that the provider completely discussed the information with parents and that the parent fully understood the risk and benefit and is still refusing the vaccine. The parent must sign this. Subsequent pages give a list of resources for the parent to consider reviewing prior to the next visit. It includes some of the material that I've included in this presentation. There is a simple 6-page information sheet from immunize.org that you can give to parents after they leave the office. Remember, every minute you spend educating a parent may save a life of a child you never see. Parents talk to each other on parental blogs like The Bump and through social media, so your education goes beyond the office. Thank you.